You spoke about the fact that you like to learn from other people, and one of the questions I ask towards the end of every episode is, "What's the best piece of advice you ever gotten?"
I'm sure, like, for me, advices come when I'm least expecting it. So it's not like, come here, let me
Give you advice.
give you advice. I'm not going to take that at all. Um, but I think I've learned a lot from my cat. My cat does not care about who's visiting, doesn't care about who they are in terms of their public persona or what they've achieved. He'll walk in, assess the energy of the room. If he likes you, he'll come and he will say, okay, you can pet my neck, you can pet my back, I'll show you my butt. Then he'll take a turn, he'll sit in the middle, put his leg up, lick his butthole, and then be like, cool, I'm done with this, and leave and go and sleep. Or in the middle of this random conversation, you'll just find Shifu sleeping there because he's unaffected by the judgment of human beings around him. So I feel like if I've learned something who is not human, but human in more ways than us, is that sense of self-assuredness.
Yeah.
Just like, I'm really not answerable to you for my actions. And why is it that we don't judge my cat for doing that? But if a child had to do that, or I had to sit there and lick my butthole, you'd be offended. I'm not saying I'm going that far with the learning, but I think it's a great advice if you want to absorb it. Like, just be you. And people may be like, what is he doing? Or, haha, that is so cute.
Yeah.
Or just be like, wow. And I think there is learning like that
All around us.
in every way. Like, I find learnings when I meet strangers on my solo trips. So my solo trips, for example, started because I used to travel and host a lot of gigs around the world. So I would always take 2 days or 3 days, like before or after. And I once met this 80-year-old woman who was living in Mauritius at this point and working at a dive shop so that she can go dive. And I was like, wow, diving has really no age. And just the fact, like, she's 80, and literally she was like, no, my kids are doing what they want to do, my husband's no more, and it's my life. And just to own that, this is who I am, came as an unexpected advice. Or just doing nice things for people because you don't know how they're going to come back and affect you. Beautiful thing, the thing that happened recently. I have a friend called Natasha Moore, okay, and she makes cosmetics and she loves giving gifts. And her gifting game is next level, man. I don't even know how she gets there. Like, she'll randomly bring you flowers. And she's come to your podcast, but she'll bring you flowers. It's weird, like, ajeeb thing she'll do. So she brought me this really small ittar. It was rose ittar. And I was very happy with it. Small bottle. Now I'm sitting in this friend's house in Helsinki. And for me, it's a great privilege when somebody invites you to your house out of your culture. Because usually people outside your culture are considered to be people who have boundaries and walls and stuff. So when they open that door and invite you, I get really excited. So I went, I met Laura's parents. We ate a meal. At some point, she started talking up. She's a 70-year-old woman talking about her best friend. And she said, when I went to India, I was looking for a small perfume for my friend. And I went to these shops and I kept looking for a small perfume for my friend. And they didn't understand what I was looking for. And I said, you may just be in luck. So something that Natasha Moore had given me, I went to my bag and I picked it. She put it on her hands, like on her wrist. She smelt it. And this woman started weeping because she remembered her best friend who passed away with cancer 2 years ago. And she said, this is my friend. This is my friend, and you brought my friend to life.
How beautiful is that?
And who would have imagined that something so sweet Natasha did for me in turn became a source of memory that that 73-year-old woman is going to remember for, I don't know, however long that perfume lasts her.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the power of goodness is. Just never be afraid to do your bit and move on, because it will come back to someone somewhere when you're least expecting it. Yeah, and that's probably not an advice, but
No.
that's an
I think
emotion
that I
and
think
a
that's the
feeling.
I think that's the best piece of advice, to just
Yeah, just leave
show
your
goodness
bits of
around.
goodness around. Yeah.
Did that make you rethink things? If it did, make sure you check out the full episode.